Someone once said, good conversation is food for the soul. Great conversation is what happens when a conversation flows, no matter how random topics get. We are in the business of creating great conversations. Welcome. This is A Few Minutes With. Hey. Welcome back to A Few Minutes With Susan Chisholm.
That's me.
Susan Bruiser.
Hello.
I am Sergio the Sexy Potato, and we are back once again for another episode of A Few Minutes With, and boy, what a week it has been.
Indeed, it has been. We had
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
You know what?
Undoubtedly. We've had an event-filled week. Starting with last weekend, too. Yeah. Everything. Check all the things out. We're going to talk about it today.
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot going on. And we are here at a brand new time. I wish I had a button that could make cheering sounds.
Yay!
As we try to be here for when people are awake. So,
yes. Especially on the East Coast.
Say that again?
Especially our friends on the East Coast.
Right, exactly. So, we're going to try this out for a bit, see how it goes. And we like to poll the audience and, see what they think. So here we are. And we're going to get down to business because we have a lot of business this week as we continue this journey here. Speaking of continuing a journey, Susan, earlier this week, you and I were talking and I asked you whether or not you were a fan of one Taylor Swift, if you were familiar with her music.
I am familiar with her music.
how familiar? Like,
I can definitely recognize her.
Shake It Off.
I can recognize a few songs. Yes, I can recognize Shake It Off. I can recognize a few songs. I can maybe sing along to one or two, but not a lot.
For the longest time, for the longest time, I've not understood the phenomenon that is Taylor Swift and the whole Swiftie thing. Mm-hmm. And so I've decided that I'm going to go down that rabbit hole. And over on TikTok, I'm doing a series called Journey to Swiftness. And so folks have been suggesting, after I posted my initial video, folks have been suggesting songs. And oh boy, they have opinions. And it's going to be interesting because I would not say that I was ever even interested in her musical style, not because of anything about her personally. I always thought of it as like, this is going to be like bubblegum pop kind of stuff, in the vein of, say, Call Me Maybe, Carly Rae Jepsen. But the first song that they had me look up was a song called Exile. And oh boy, it is not at all what I thought. So, yeah. There's some. It's only again. I'm trying not to get like I was like, why don't I just get a playlist of the best of, and I'll just start listening. And I started to do that, and there were a couple of songs that I'm like, this really slaps. And but the kids say that, Susan, you got to get with the times. And it's one of those things where I was like, okay, well, hold on, there's something here to explore because this is not at all what I thought it was going to be. And so, because the only song I knew that I could recognize as a Taylor Swift tune is Shake It Off, which I think everybody knows. And so, so it's going to be interesting. So if you don't follow me on TikTok yet, I would humbly invite you to find me, Sergio the Sexy Potato, on TikTok. And I have the first song that I listened to, is up with Thoughts. And every so often, every couple of days, I'll next one will probably be tomorrow or Saturday. And I'm gonna dive down the rabbit hole of one Taylor Swift to figure out what the heck is this all about. So that is cool.
May I make?
Of course, of course you can.
Karma Is Your Boyfriend. That's the name of the song.
Oh, I was going to say, okay, you like shifted the whole conversation.
No, that's the name of the song. I mean,
I'll have to have you message that to me so that I remember. So if you would do that for me, please.
I will.
Karma Is Your Boyfriend. Already, I'm like, yeah, I gotta, you know. Are you familiar with the song "Look What You Made Me Do"?
Yes.
Dang.
Yes,
Dang. There is something happening. I
hey.
almost got the vibes when we listen to, you know, how I'm on Word Sandwich, I'm looking at like song lyrics and how people or how artists like craft music and others, you know, how we use words. And we always go, you and I always get down to Michael McDonald and how his words and his lyrics are so like, who hurt you? Um,
Who
Someone
hurt
pissed
you?
her off is all I'm saying.
Oh,
And so
the
apparently
further
there's a
down,
story. I haven't gone down that far down the rabbit hole. So
the more Taylor Swift music that you hear, you will discover that that is a recurring theme.
oh,
That's all I'll say.
okay.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
going to say.
No, yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, that was actually because okay, I won't lie. I did bring up a playlist on Spotify, and I was on my way to work. The morning I messaged you about it, I was like, Are you?"
Oh, right. Okay.
And so I was listening, and that was the second song I heard. I can't tell you the title of the first one. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but then that was the one that caught my attention. That I was like, "Whoa, there's something going on here in terms of her lyric, and there's some something went down." Is all I'm saying. So, but yeah. So, want to say hello to the hello.
Hello.
Want to say
Hello.
hello to those who are with us this
Welcome.
evening. On the chat, our friend Rasta is here along with our friend Angie. Again, we are
Hello.
on at a much earlier time than normal.
It's
And we'll see
disorienting
how this goes.
because there's still sunlight outside.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I-
I need to get that shade installed. So but but look, my mola's working. The
Yay!
mola. So
How did you do it?
I don't know. I plugged it in and it turned on this time. So
I mean, you know, plugging it in is a helpful way to make sure that your art display is working. So
indeed.
please make sure.
Indeed.
Plug in your
It
art display.
art created by my my late father-in-law, and I'm glad it's there. So all right. So we had an adventure this weekend.
We did indeed have an adventure.
In a time machine of sorts. Oh, by the way, this week's drink is watermelon propel. So
Watermelon propel, okay.
Which I love. And now the lid is on the floor because it fell, and now I gotta hope not to spill this. So
don't spill it. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we went into a time machine, and what happened?
We went to North Texas to a little tiny little bitty roller derby event, major roller derby event. It's called Clover Cup. It is a tournament, a 3-day tournament of bunch of teams get together. It's like a 12-team bracket, breaks down to, you know, one team championship. Woohoo! Yeah, and so we drove up there and we announced. You announced 2 games. I announced 1 game. I was able to announce again with my sister. Announce call a roller derby game with my sister. You were able to do the same, but with not your sister. Yeah, it was your
it was
brother's.
a bit more of a significant thing for me in the sense that I had not, you know, I'd been away from the roller derby world for 3 years announcing wise, and it was an opportunity to connect with some people in my life who'd been very influential during my career, and it was. Our friend Bud put it best when he said it's 2017 again, because that's exactly what it felt like. Everything sort of fell into place properly, and yeah, it was cool. And so yeah, we spent the weekend immersed in the world of roller derby for a few hours, and it was fun.
It was
cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it was quite a process for me, and that I'm glad I did, because why the hell not? So it was fun.
It was a great adventure. I really enjoyed you know, kind of being in that environment again. However, being in that environment again and seeing the people that I saw that I used to like, my former team was there. Actually, they made it all the way to championships. They were the second place team after a very close fought battle. But seeing those people and, having people come up to me and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you." I mean, it just made me want to do it all over again. Um, announcing again, possibly even skating again. And I will admit to you right now that my former team is having tryouts from 7 to 9 p.m. tonight. And I'm here because it is a better choice, fiscally and time management wise, for me to not join a roller derby team again. Although I do long to play at one point, so maybe sometime along in the future it'll be a thing for me. But right now I am where I should be.
Yeah, so Clover Cup was a lot of fun, and once we got back, it was back to normal life. And so here we are with another episode for you. We are going to institute a few new weekly segments this week, Susan.
Absolutely.
As we try out a few new. That's why the title of this week's show is "It's a Mystery."
It's a mystery,
and because we're going to try some things, and we're going to find out if they work. And so,
yes.
So if you're here with us, you're experiencing some of these things for the first time. But the first segment that we're introducing is going to be a weekly thing. Is actually something we did last week that went really well. And so it is time now for News of the Weird. Every week, Susan, you and I are going to bring one article of some form of news that we thought was like unique or weird or whatever. And we'll share it with those who are here with us, and we'll see how it goes. But before we do that, something very important is happening in the chat right now, because our friend Drew has arrived.
Hello, Drew.
And we want to take a moment on behalf of all of us here at A Few Minutes With, all two of us, to wish Drew a very, very happy birthday. It is Drew's birthday today, and we're happy that he's here, and we're happy that he's having a birthday. So Susan, talk about Drew and wish him a happy birthday. Put you on the spot.
So Drew is cool. A cool person. He is a new friend to me. I was introduced to him through Sergio, the Sexy Potato. So actually, something really cool about Drew also is he runs a nonprofit organization that assists helping veterans get access to computers and builds computers and everything like that. It's fantastic. It's called Call Sign Muffin. You should check it out. And support them, because it is an amazing cause and it's super important. And so far I've had a couple of conversations with Drew and like one-on-one over text message, like, project talk and all that fun stuff. But, he's a really cool dude. He's just kind of chill and I dig it. But yes, definitely, Drew, happy birthday. Thank you for being here, because we love you.
Yeah. I've known Drew about 8 or 9 years through work, and this is a guy. He's just a class guy that really. I'm glad that the stars aligned. That here live on A Few Minutes With, we can present Drew with his gift, which is you get to watch a podcast. So happy birthday, Drew. We appreciate you, and we definitely need to get Drew on, because I'd love for him to come on and talk about Call Sign Muffin and the work that's being done by that group. I have an opportunity to actually participate in April. I'll be doing a class for the organization, and so I'm really excited about that. But it's about Drew, and so happy birthday and welcome to tonight. So
yes,
indeed, we'll have Drew on soon, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Now he's going to think that we are saying that his birthday is weird, because I've had the News of the Weird banner up the whole entire time that we've been talking about his birthday.
By the way,
News of the Weird. Drew has a birthday.
Happy birthday. It was timely. It was just we had to address it as soon as he arrived in the chat. Because
I brought up the banner and Drew appeared, and I'm like, how appropriate. Because he's a bit weird. No, but in a good way. So, Susan, I'll turn it over to you. What is your entry this week into News of the Weird?
The News of the Weird is, for me, it is a noxious weed forces Arizona National Monument's picnic area to close until May.
Wow.
So Casa Grande Ruins National Monument in South Central Arizona, basically. It can't use its picnic area. Why? Well, There is a noxious invasive winter weed called stinknet.
Oh, nice.
Appropriate. Stinknet. The weed has a turpentine like odor. Turpentine like
words
odor.
are hard.
Words are hard. And can cause serious breathing problems. And if you touch it, you get rashes on your skin. So
Jeez.
yeah, don't go to Casa Grande Ruins National Monument.
Well, apparently they don't let you in. So.
At least to their picnic area. Like you can go to the monument, not to the picnic area. So, and also if you see a bright yellow blossom with narrow green stems, and their shape similar to the shape of a golf ball, it says that the blossoms are round and similar to the shape of a golf ball, right down to the dimpled pattern.
Wow.
However, stinky and corrosive to your skin.
Wow.
So it looks like what's going on is essentially it's just like the time of the year for it to bloom, and winds and birds carried it across into Arizona where it is invasive species. So yeah, no
wow. Okay.
Rasta
mentions that they passed by there because his family travels.
Yeah.
And he mentions that passed by there a while ago today. So congrats on not stopping.
Not going to the picnic area and enjoying the lovely smell of stinknet, an appropriately named invasive weed species. So
interesting. Well, there
don't
you
step
go.
on it, because if you step on it, what actually spreads it is I was looking it up. What actually spreads it is the liquid, like the milky stuff that comes out of the inside of the plant is very sticky. And as you step on it, you also, of course, you'll crunch the bloom or the blossom as well, which will cause it to spread. So you'll step on it, you'll sticky it, and you'll make footprints, and they'll follow your footprints.
What will they sound like? Talent. So you're like voice work. So yeah.
We've talked about my many voices. We're just not
this is true.
That right
this is true. Well, that'll be next week's episode. All right. So for myself, I have an article that is coming out of Cheshire, England. This happened March 27th, which is what was that, a couple of days ago? Yeah, I'll just read the opening paragraph. It says a Cheshire, England woman rescued what she believed to be an abandoned baby hedgehog and took it to a local animal hospital, where the veterinarians told her she had actually rescued the pom-pom from a beanie hat. And so the article continues. The Lower Moss Wood Nature Reserve and Wildlife Hospital said in a Facebook post that the kind soul rescued what she thought was a very shy baby hedgehog and took it home. She brought it to the animal hospital the next day, concerned that it hadn't moved or pooped all night. That's in quotes. The veterinarian told The Independent. Veterinarians then informed the woman that she had actually rescued the pom-pom from the top of a beanie hat. She was an older lady, maybe 60s or 70s, well-spoken and well-meaning. She said she could see something on the roadside that looked like a hedgehog. From a distance, you take it at face value. She didn't handle it at all. She scooped it into a box, put some cat food, and left it alone in a warm, dark place. She did everything so well, she barely peeked at it because she didn't want to stress it out.
That is adorable.
It's fantastic. And I have a picture. And so I'm going to show that because it is just awesome. And
I mean, you know
so
what, though?
Here, there's the little baby hedgehog that's not a hedgehog. And isn't that awesome?
What a beautiful spirit. Like, that is a beautiful soul that would do something like that without even a second thought.
And I love the notion that she didn't even want to like disturb it by picking it up herself. So she scooped it into this box and laid some cat food out for it. And it's just so concerned that it hadn't moved all night. I better take it to the vet. And it's the pom-pom from a beanie hat. So yeah.
Can you imagine that feeling though, being that lady that's like, I'm so scared, the heartbroken, the fear and the anxiety about it hasn't eaten or pooped or moved.
Yeah.
That, and then it's a pom-pom.
Well, and yeah, and I mean, obviously the way the article's written, it seems like the veterinary staff had a good laugh with the lady, and they were they made sure to make her feel like she'd done the right thing, and that she was so compassionate and so careful. And I love that they did that, because you wouldn't want to make somebody feel bad, no matter what the age,
No.
right? Because
No.
they're doing something that we need this kind of good in the world, that somebody would
Agreed.
take. And but yeah, so I thought that was a good entry for news of the weird. So
Amazing.
yeah,
That's
a lot
adorable.
of fun. Yeah, it's fantastic.
That makes my
Fantastic.
heart feel good.
Yeah, so we will be doing news of the weird every single week. So make sure you come on out and find out what kind of goofiness is happening out in the world.
Yeah.
Susan, I have a little bit of a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh.
You made a recommendation to me last week, and I'm going to also include, in terms of blame, our friend Kevin Sparkle Bands, and because you guys suggested to me a show. And I don't think I have a banner for this, but a show called Vox Machina, The Legend of Vox Machina. Because you and I had a brief conversation about anime, and it kind of like before I give you my thoughts, I just want you to kind of tell me, talk a little bit about why this show was something you felt like was a place for me to begin an anime journey of sorts.
So it's a little bit easier to ease into American style anime, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. It's not meant for children. It is definitely a grown-up anime.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. It's absolutely the funniest things there. And I think I talked to you about it. When we would watch it, when Cullen and I would watch it, we would have to. There were times we'd have to pause it to laugh, and then sometimes we'd have to rewind it a little bit just to catch what they said, because we were laughing so hard that we didn't catch what they said. So yes. So that was part of it. Obviously, it has a pretty decent story. It's something that right now it's new and upcoming. It's still being produced, which that might be the thing that will get to irritate you, is that you'll get to the end of season 2 and there's not a season 3 yet. It's still in production. So you're like, ah! Which is what happened to us.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Before I get into a brief assessment, having watched a few episodes, our Kevin Sparkle Pants, I said earlier, Kevin Sparkle Bands. Anybody wondering, I like to watch, I sometimes like to watch the show back after we have finished taping, or after we've had a live episode. And the captioning that is automatically done on Facebook is an absolute riot sometimes. And so every time we saw, or every time we said Captain Sparkle Pants, it would translate it to different versions, and the one that stood out to me was Kevin Sparkle Bands. And so but he is Captain Sparkle Pants. We're not going to make that a permanent thing, except maybe so every so often. But yeah, so okay, so Legend of Vox Machina. So immediately the night that you suggested it, last Thursday, when we finished the show, I jumped on to Prime, and I thought, okay, here we go. Goddamn. I was not prepared. I was absolutely not prepared for the absolute hilarity of this show. It is definitely, like you said, it's not for kids. It's an adult anime, adult adventure cartoon, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the terminology is, but when I tell you that you talk about how the two of you have to like pause and rewind because you're laughing so hard, and obviously the two of you are in the same room, right?
Yes.
I am sitting alone cackling as I'm watching this first episode, right? And I was just blown away. Again, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. There's definitely there's a wheelhouse of people that are going to enjoy this kind of humor. because it is very irreverent. It is very, it just isn't for everyone, right? But what stood out to me is the absolute brilliance of the storytelling. I'm 6 episodes in. And when I tell you those 6 episodes were watched in less than 2 days, okay?
Oh, I believe it.
I was up late watching the first 4, okay? Because I couldn't stop. And I'm at the end of episode 6 of season 1, and the storyline has gotten dark. But again, it maintains the humor, right?
Yes.
And one of the things I love is the balance of how they can have the team of adventurers in this really serious dilemma or distress, but there's still moments of humor that shine through that don't become like heavy-handed, right? It's very, very creative in its not only in its production, but just the script, and the voice acting is phenomenal.
Yes.
And I'm talking like episode 1, it's not even 5 minutes before Scandalous starts to sing a song. And I'm like, oh, I'm like tears laughing so hard. And I'm like, okay, I'm in, totally in. And so I recommend it with caution. It's not for everyone. Okay. You can find it on Prime. And you tell me that there's no season 3 yet, but I'm going to be wishing there were.
It's on its way. From what I understand, it is currently in production. It will be done. Yeah, you'll get to the end of season 2, and you're like, my exact reaction was, so Cullen and I would watch an episode or 2 a night.
Yeah.
And there wasn't 2 episodes at the end. There was like 1 episode remaining.
Okay.
And so I'm the episode finishes, and I'm like, all right, cool. Let's turn on the next episode. Let's get going. And he said, there aren't any more episodes.
Oh man, I hate that. That's the worst.
And I literally, so do you recall at the end of our food video called The End, when I told you we needed to do it again because we didn't have our microphones on? Do you remember your reaction?
Oh yeah.
It was something along the lines of, no.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
And of course, we would stay up late because we wouldn't want to start it while the kids were awake, because we wanted to have our attention on family stuff. We wanted to be present with the kids while they were awake. But you can't stay up too late. We would watch a couple of episodes, but like it was late, and I remember like hollering, and Colin's like, "You're going to wake up the kids." I'm like, "Don't care. I'm angry."
Yeah, I got at least one call out from Jen. Are you okay? I'm like, because I was just laughing so hard. So good.
Yes.
So thank you for the recommendation. It is greatly appreciated. And I hope you'll thank Campus Sparkle Pants for. Oh, he can hear. So thank you, Campus Sparkle Pants. Also, it's a lot of fun, and I look forward to continuing the series. But I'm in the midst of starting all kinds of things, so I need to find some balance, because I've got so much happening here recently as I try out new things and such. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. Let's see. There was something I was gonna bring up before. Gosh, it escaped me. Man, I can't remember what it was. It'll hopefully come back. Before we get to your segment, though, I will say this. I am actually very excited because tomorrow I'm going to be watching the new Godzilla Kong movie. And I made the mistake of going back to revisit a couple of the ones that were released a few years ago, King of the Monsters, and then Godzilla versus Kong. And I'd forgotten how bad they were. And so, yeah, I don't know what to think about this one, but we'll see what happens. So, yeah,
there's a lot of those.
Indeed. Propel Water does not sponsor us, but if you like flavored water, I can highly recommend. So,
Yes.
Susan, another new segment we're going to bring up. Well, actually, I think the best way to put it is we are going to have each of us individual segments that we are going to share with those who are here with us. As I try to find, there it is. So yeah, I'm going to turn it over to you for your brand new segment. Tell us all about it, and we're going to pay attention.
So, Sergio and I discussed at one point having these weekly segments that are kind of all of our own, all us. Something that we feel passionate about and that we like to talk about. Me personally, I love words. I mean, here I am in front of a microphone talking, using words. So using words kind of to make it up. And I was also, when I was younger, my mom would receive in the mail, I think it was in the mail, the Reader's Digest. I don't know if you can call that. It's a little book,
little magazine,
little magazine, and every episode, or my God, episode, wow, every edition had in the back, like the last couple of pages was a vocabulary quiz, where it would list off a few different, words, and you would select what the meanings were, or vice versa. It would have the meaning, and you would select the word to match that definition.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, because I love that kind of thing, I thought it'd be fun to dive into words and the meanings of the words and even the etymology of the words. So I would like to introduce my segment. It is called May I Have a Word? And you have to say it just like that. May I have a word? It makes you think like I'm going to talk mean things to you, but I'm not. I'm going to talk great things to you. So the first word that I've chosen, and this is something, obviously, if you know what the word means, let me know. But I would also, I'm still going to describe it to, explain everything to you, because it's important to know where our words come from as well. So, the word of the week. May I have a word? The word is callipygian. Callipygian.
Wow. Expialidocious.
Do you know what this word means, Sergio?
I do not. I'm looking at it and I'm trying to like figure it out, but
you won't.
Yeah, no. It's
Sorry.
Probably something about a pigeon, but
no. So typically you can look at a word and break it down,
break it apart, yeah,
the parts, and like figure out where it came from. This is a pretty heavily Greek-based word.
Mm-hmm.
And it came up earlier in conversation this week, so please forgive me why this is the word of the week.
You use this in conversation?
No. So I'll explain that in a minute.
Oh, okay,
there is, at work, we have a whiteboard where I'm not sure if it's one person or a couple of people posit a question every week. So last week the question was, what's your favorite adjective? And this was written on the board, and I had to look it up. And interesting.
We have a guess in the chat.
That is absolutely correct.
What?
That is correct. So, callipygian, having beautifully shaped buttocks, or the second description, or the second definition, is specifically describing a statue in a pose that shows off the figure's shapely buttocks. So,
never would have guessed.
No, nor would I have. In the definition in the Wikipedia article, if you look up the word callipygian, you can. It specifically describes a statue of the Greek goddess Aphrodite.
Okay.
So she's standing, and obviously she has well-shaped buttocks, and she's showing off those well-shaped buttocks in the pose in which she is using. And so that is a description of the pose itself, or describing the statue, it is a very Callipygian statue. It comes from the ancient Greek word. Wow, that's hard to say. Callipygus, and then from also Kallios, which means beauty, and then Pouget, which means buttocks. So Callipygian.
That makes sense.
And it was
of course it would.
Of course it would. The synonyms, Wikipedia is phenomenal in that it gives you not only the word, the definition, and its etymology, but it also gives you synonyms for this word. The synonyms of Callipygian are listed as bootylicious, buntastic, and rumpalicious.
Wow, that's got to come back. That's back to my day. If you're getting
rumpalicious.
Yeah.
So yes. And my assignment to you is, or to anyone in the chat, really, find a way to insert this word into your vocabulary
work
this
tomorrow.
week. Sergio at work, I'm like, no, don't do that.
No, I will not.
Do not do that. But bring it up in conversation. Be like, hey, I learned this new word today. Did you know what this means?
Interesting.
Bootylicious.
So Callipygian is all about the donk.
Callipygian. Callipygian.
Interesting. That's a good one. That's a good one. When you told me your idea for your segment, I was like, I love this, because you already know how much I'm into words and word crafting. And this is just, I was very, very pleased, because I didn't know we would start this fast, though, because this is like,
we talked. Yeah, what, Tuesday? We talked about it Tuesday.
No. What I meant is, I didn't know we were going to start this fast with something so unique.
Oh,
it was about butts. So
it's about butts. Hey, listen, when you have an obsession, no, I'm just kidding. My thing is that there are a lot of words out there that are they're not commonly used, and they are.
Oh, this needs to be brought up big time.
Just, great. And there was a movie, and forgive me, I can't remember. I want to say Dead Poets Society, maybe, that he said the use of the word very is lazy. And so it's kind of like that. You've got to find these new words. Instead of saying she has a very nice butt, you say she is very Callipygian.
She doth ist Callipygian.
She has that bootylicious. Okay. Sorry, I'll stop.
Somehow it sounds better with Callipygian.
Callipygian. So there you go. And so these words that the words that I have been looking at and considering for this segment, I have tried to stay away from something that is like an everyday use.
Of course.
I'm not gonna bring up bootylicious. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But yeah, please. I'm really enjoying this. And if you have some ideas for words that you are, unique words that you like, send us a message. Add a comment. Absolutely. We love to see it. And I like to learn. Yeah. So if it's a word that I don't know, I would gladly learn about it.
In fact, Susan, is there an email where they could possibly send you words or ideas for this segment if they wanted to share?
Maybe. I will.
It is koabdproductions@gmail.com. So we'll put that up on a banner, because Susan types faster than I do.
I do.
So our email here at the show is koabdproductions@gmail.com. It's a lot, I know, but that's where you can reach us. KOABD is the production company that we all exist under, and it stands for kind of a big deal. So if you have ideas for Susan for this segment, make sure you email them to her, and I will promise not to look, because I want to learn with you guys cheating as we do this. So
learning is great. And you can put in the subject line, may I have a word? And that'll help us to kind of break it down.
Or Sergio, don't look. So
Sergio, don't look.
No, may I have a word works perfectly. All right. Fantastic, Susan. Thank you. I am looking forward to expanding my vocabulary week to week, and I'm sure other folks are as well. So that brings us to my weekly segment that I'm simply going to call Sacco Potatoes because, Susan, I you know me, I can't settle on one thing. I love that you have a singular idea that can explore so many different things in terms of word and word crafting. For myself, though, I don't like, I shouldn't say I don't like to get pigeonholed into one thing. I just don't, my brain doesn't work that way. And so I thought, well, you know what? If I call it Sack of Potatoes, then I can just bring about any topic I want to talk about. Because the idea overall for me is I'm going to use this as an opportunity to share with people something I'm reading, watching, experiencing, whatever the case might be, and say, hey, try this out, right? And, you know, as someone who is, I guess I can't say I'm new to gaming anymore. Am I out of the window?
You're a gamer.
What I want to talk about this week is a new game that I played for the first time ever. So if you're not a gamer, maybe this isn't going to land for you. And you know, I promise to have stuff for everyone as time goes on. But I had to talk about this because it was a game that was suggested to me. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, Susan, where you're like, you know, somebody says, hey, you should play this game. And you're like, oh my gosh, I have that game. I've never played it, though. It just sat there.
Yes.
Can you share with me an experience you've had that's like that?
So, I'm going to pull up my Steam because I do not recall the name of the game. So, I mean, there's a couple of different ones. So I have played New World, obviously plenty of times, but someone suggested to me to play Cyberpunk 2077, I believe is the full title of it. I have it. It is not even installed on my computer. But I've tried it and I enjoy it.
But it's there.
It's here. It's ready to go.
Well, the game that was suggested to me was actually in my Steam account, and it was installed. I just hadn't gotten to it yet, and so I finally played it, and it's called Shadow of Mordor, which I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. Like, big Lord of the Rings fan. I've seen all of the, you know, I've read the books, I've seen the films, I've seen all the extended versions of the films, and so so the other night I decided to, you know, somebody mentioned it at work, and I'm like, you know what, I have that game. I'm gonna open it up tonight, and I did, and it is so much fun. The game mechanics are very similar to games that you and I enjoy, New World and such, and that you're traversing your way through a map, right, and a landscape. And it takes from obviously the story of Lord of the Rings and such, and you're in Mordor. And the cool part is that if you know the story and you know Mordor and what it is, that's basically the worst part of the story and the worst place to be in. And so the cool part is that you are playing a character that has sort of resurrected as a wraith. So you have yourself in your human form, but you can convert to your wraith form, and you actually have a companion that you can switch to as you play. So the game mechanics are really interesting. It immediately fell in love with the ease of use, so to speak, of the fighting mechanisms and such. And I got so excited that I just started running through the map and like doing stuff. So I need to kind of start again and just start to really explore the ins and outs of the game. And so on this week's Sack of Potatoes, I want to, if you haven't heard of the game, or if you have it sitting in your account and you haven't opened it up yet, Shadow of Mordor is an absolute blast to play. I really enjoy it. I can't wait to go back to it. And I actually do pretty well in it. And so that helps, you know, because I'm able to fight off 7 or 8 orcs at a time and build my confidence. And it's a lot of fun. And so I have it on my Steam account. I'm sure it's available in other platforms as well. And I finally got around to it. And so, that is my recommendation this week. A game that I'm playing that I would like to recommend to folks, Shadow of Mordor. So that is this week's Sack o' Potatoes.
That's this week's potato from the sack.
That's right.
Kidding. From the sack of potatoes. This is that.
From the sack. All right, Susan, what do we have up next?
So we're both in the business of being educational. Sergio, your full-time job is a trainer.
Corporate trainer, yep.
corporate trainer. I am a preceptor at my work, so I like to teach people. So that's something that we kind of thought we would capitalize on, is taking a little bit of knowledge that we have that is maybe unique to us, between the two of us at least.
Right.
And so we want to tell you without telling you what this thing is. We want you to tell you to take a minute and go look this thing up. So this little segment we've decided to call, "Hey, go look this up. Go look up the word." So this is our new segment, "Go Look Up." And actually, I want to hear what you have about that. Tell me about it. What do you think?
Well, so for me, again, like you said, I think you explained it perfectly, but Go Look Up is an opportunity for us to say to each other, okay, you're going to go look this up and I'm going to go look that up. And we don't talk about this in advance. That was the agreement we had. We're not going to give anybody any, give ourselves a hint. And it's going to give us the opportunity to explore things that we're not maybe familiar with, right? Or maybe we are familiar with, but we haven't dug deeper. And so I don't have any clue what Susan is going to tell me to go look up. And then we have to come back next week and briefly talk about it. And then we'll put our next item on the table. And so if I may, I'd like to start by sharing with you. And mine is related to something that we're going to experience next week. So the timing of it is critical here, because next weekend, a week from this Saturday, is night one of this year's WrestleMania. And those who know me know that I am a huge fan of pro wrestling. And one of the things that I've been so, I'm excited about it because it's kind of funny, is over the last several months, I have been introducing Susan to the world of pro wrestling. She's attended events with me. She has I'll be like, I need to show you this video. Like, you got to know about this stuff. And we've even well, we were at Sonic, remember, and we were watching like the main event of one of the events a few months ago. And so Susan's been a good sport about exploring that aspect of my life interest in pro wrestling. And so because next weekend is WrestleMania, it lands perfectly that I'm going to give her this assignment, so that next week, a couple of days before the big show, we're going to see what she finds out, and if she does indeed go look it up. So ready? And we're going to email each other or message each other the topics, because
okay, good. I was like,
but I'm just gonna. So there is a match that I wanted to show you for the longest time, because for me, it encompasses what I believe is the essence of pro wrestling, from the fact that it is athletic. It contains people who are historic in the business of wrestling. It tells an amazing story if you just pay attention to the match and how it plays out, which is what good wrestling does. I could go on, but I know we have a limited amount of time. So you're going to look up for your first go look up. You're going to look up from WrestleMania 24, the match between Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. And those are names I know you know. Okay.
Yes, I do.
It is, for me, in terms of wrestling as an art, and people can laugh at me when I say that. I don't care. I truly believe when done well, it's art. There's an art to it. This is one of my Mount Rushmore matches in my years of being a pro. I've been a fan since I was 8 years old, and here I am on the doorstep of 54, and I still watch and I still enjoy it. So I want you to watch that match, and just come back next week. Tell me what you thought. And it'll be a nice little jump into the weekend as we prepare for the first time ever, we're going to watch WrestleMania together next weekend. So I'm excited about
live and in color. I'm nervous.
Not in person, by the way. You just made it sound like
not in
we're
person.
Going to be in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
We're watching it on TV.
No, we're watching it on TV.
Yeah.
In person with one another. How about that? And I would love to share with you. I have, and I think I wore my shirt that I picked out for professional wrestling when we went to the Royal Rumble event. And it says Ska music and pro wrestling are the only true forms of art or something along those lines. It's
Yeah.
really silly. However, since then I have also bought earrings that are folding chairs.
Oh, that's right. I remember those.
So that they are.
You'll have
so
to wear
I'm
them
gonna
next weekend.
I'm going to be wearing my folding chair earrings as we watch the main event of WrestleMania.
2 nights of wrestling action, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I had to send some love to Captain Sparkle Pants, who says wrestling is a grown man soap opera, and there's nothing wrong with that, and he is absolutely right. So I will be a fan forever. So,
and here's the thing, is from at least middle school, maybe middle school into high school, I had 2 or 3 friends that were really, really into pro wrestling. And I staunchly refused to even acknowledge it. I was like, this is so dumb. It's really fake, blah, blah, blah. However, he showed me a few matches and kind of told me the backstory behind it. And I was literally, I'm like, well, what happened next? What happened after that? It's so addicting and it's ridiculous. And stuff happens that you look at it and you're like, that's not, I'm offended. I am deeply offended and now fully invested in the storyline that is currently happening right now. And I'm looking forward to its hopefully conclusion, because
I knew, like, one of my absolute favorite moments on this journey that I've been taking you down into the world of pro wrestling was I said, hey, so I've got this video that'll catch you up on the Bloodline storyline, which is again, if you don't watch wrestling, it's one of the things going on. And I was like, but it's 2.5 hours, and she's like, are you going to press play? And for 2.5 hours. I mean, so it's been a lot of fun, and I'm very appreciative, Susan, of the fact that you are open-minded enough to allow me to share this experience with you, because it is fun for me, and I love that you've had good. And the fact that we've gone to shows, big WWE shows and stuff has been a lot of fun. So
yeah, the event. I mean, we attended a one of the big 4 events.
Absolutely.
Called Royal Rumble, and
2023 Royal Rumble. Yeah.
San Antonio Alamo Dome. Basically, I mean, we were floor seats, but like
the most uncomfortable floor seats ever.
Indeed.
But it was fun.
Yeah. It was outrageous, and the energy is nothing that one can describe with words and fully convey.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It is definitely an experience. All right. Before we get to yours, I want to make sure that I acknowledge that there is a very important conversation going on around Helldivers 2 and a Taters Twitch team. I'm not ignoring it, guys. I see it. I just don't want to kill momentum right now, but we'll talk Drew and Captain Sparkle Pants, and I'm sure that Suzer, you're going to want to be in on that as well. So
sounds good.
All right. What am I looking up, Suzer?
So there obviously in my life right now, a very significant part of my life is my career as a nurse. There are so many wonderful and outrageous things to learn about medicine and learn about the human body. What I'm going to have you look up is a procedure. It's not anything bloody or gory or anything like that. It's just a very interesting and unique. I know you, first of all. I would not do that to you. It's a unique and we'll just say unique. It's a unique procedure that is performed sometimes. So I would like you. And this is something that I learned about actually while I was still in nursing school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where you hear about the procedure, and you think you can do that. Number one, and then secondly, you think, like, after you hear about it, after you watch a video or 2 on it, and you think to yourself, man, the human body is just incredible. So that's where I'm leading with this one. At least this first one. It might not always be this. I'm just letting you know. It's just going to go look up some nursing stuff. This week's go look up is something called cardioversion.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Again, you're gonna have to send that to me. So
I will. Yeah, it's not it's not something that you would really just randomly Google cardioversion.
right.
And I'm sure that you can look at the beginning of the word and say that has something to do with the heart, and you would be correct. But
Yes,
I'm going
that
to
much
stop
I got.
there so that you can look
Now,
this up and see it. It's out.
I heard cardio aversion. Is it cardio version or cardio? Because I don't want to have. I mean, I do have aversion to doing cardio, but
cardio version. So yes, cardio aversion minus the So
Gotcha.
just cardio version, and I will absolutely
look it
message
up.
you that because
my brain, Swiss cheese. So indeed. All right. Well, guys, if you can't tell by now, you're gonna be learning stuff if you come around every week at 7:30 p.m. Central now on Thursday nights here on A Few Minutes with Susan. Thank you for that entry. If you guys want to participate in any of the segments that we are doing, suggestions for a word perhaps that you want Susan to bring to the table at some point, a go look up that maybe you want to challenge the two of us to go and look up and learn about. We'd love to invite you to go ahead and email us once again at koabdproductions@gmail.com. Sergio, yes. Why wasn't it just a few minutes with at gmail.com? Because it's an umbrella. KOABD Productions is an umbrella. And so you can email us there with any ideas you may have. If you do enjoy the segmented approach that we are doing on the show, we want to hear from you. Let us know if this was fun. And if it's something that you're looking forward to coming back to week to week. You can even tell us now since we're still here, right, Susan?
We love it. And I would like to admit that I am not a very good executive producer because I didn't even know that email was a thing. But now that I do, I'm going to be promoting it everywhere.
Excellent. Absolutely. I probably should have done a better job of just telling you that there was an email. So
I mean, hey, I'm excited about it though, because we've discussed in the past, like how do we get people to contact us where we can both or at least, we can be in one central location, because we get comments on Facebook, we get comments on YouTube, but having them all in one central place is just
that would be nice. Absolutely. All right, fantastic. Well, as we get moving on towards landing the plane on this week's episode, it is time once again. I have done so much banner work this week. It is time for this week's, what I like to call the Tickety Talk of the week. And we're going to have some fun with it's a channel called Mr. Kidders. So let's take a look.
He's talking.
The squirrel?
He's yelling at a squirrel or chattering at a squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
I love it when cats do that.
Yeah. Oh, the squirrels here drive my cat Kathy crazy.
He has so many friends.
Yeah. When I think of the amount of footage it must take to put that little video together, I mean, because you saw that it's not just one cat that has a camera.
Yeah. At the very beginning, you see at least one other cat, maybe two other cats that have those video cameras.
Yeah. And I can't imagine the editing that goes into, I mean, having to sort through all that, because I mean, it goes all day, I imagine.
I mean, yeah, and there's got to be, the cat's got to sleep sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah. Well, again, as always, Susan, it has been a lot of fun. I'm excited about this new format, and it definitely gives us a lot of fun things to talk about week to week. So thank you for always taking risks on the show with me.
I mean, it's fun and exciting. You should not ever have dull moments, and that's how it is around here. Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. Absolutely.
Never a dull moment.
All right. And to all of you out there, thank you so much for joining us this week. Once again, we appreciate your thoughts. We appreciate those of you who are participating in the chat. It really means a lot to us that you're an active part of the community. And so as we prepare to get out of here, let's first say hello and thank you to Savage for stopping by. And if you miss it and are watching this on replay, we appreciate you. Yes. And Susan, what should they do if they haven't already done it?
If you haven't already, click the subscribe button, as it says down here at the very bottom of our screen. Click the subscribe button, and that will introduce you into one super exclusive club of people who know where to find us. You can also click the notification bell, little tiny guy to the right of the subscribe button. And what that'll do is alert you anytime we're about to go online, and you can come on and join us right away. And anytime we have a new episode that lands, if you're not able to make it live, it goes to that video on demand. It says, boop, hey, it's ready to go. Come watch us. So.
Indeed. And Susan, where can people find you if they want to catch you up on or catch up with you on social media?
Hiding under a rock behind the courthouse. No, I'm just kidding. Please find me at Susan Bruiser, as it is here. Susan Bruiser on almost all the social medias. Facebook is not really one that I use often, but Susan Bruiser at Twitter, X, whatever, on TikTok. And what about you? Where can they find you?
Well, for me, it's on Twitter, X, whatever, which is what I'll always call it. I am Serge, S-E-R-G, Sexy Potato. And I really want folks, I'm gonna just do it. TikTok. I'm working hard on trying to build my following there. Trying to get to 1,000. Right now, sitting at about 506. And thank you if you follow me there. If not, go ahead, Sergio the Sexy Potato on TikTok. I'm having some fun with some weekly or daily videos, actually. And as we said at the start of the show, if you want to figure out what my thoughts are on the music of Taylor Swift, that's the new series on my TikTok. So make sure you stop by. But yeah.
If I may, another educational opportunity. Sergio has a national day. What day is it? So you can learn what day is it.
Every single day.
So
yeah. And I'm learning that people are just making shit up. That's day to day.
Welcome to Planet Earth.
I tell you, man. I mean, I have seen it's like National What Day? So yeah. Like the other day it was National Scribble Day, where you just celebrate scribbling. And I like it. Like there's some of it that I'm like, okay, cool. That's cool. But yeah, there's a national day for everything. And we're only through the first quarter of the year, and I've got 9 more months of this. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot. I try to do it on a daily basis. It doesn't always quite work out, but there you go. Yes. All right. Again, to all of you watching, we thank you so much. We appreciate you being here with us. Susan, I appreciate you. And as we always say to each other, raccoons. And as we get out of here, always remember, guys, we love you dearly. We want you to take good care of yourself, be good to yourself. Yes. And as always, remember, you are awesome. You're amazing. And the world's a better place because you are in it. There we go. Have a great rest of the week. Take good care of yourself. And we'll see you next week on a new episode of A Few Minutes With. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Love you.